Hey guys, Jace here again. Today I wanted to talk about the new oneleaf.ai NV500 4K digital rifle scope and compare it to the previous model, the NV400 4K digital rifle scope. Well, the first comparison is the size. This thing is like half the size. The NV500 is half the size of the NV400. They've been able to get it down really compact. I thought that was pretty cool. And I think one way they were able to get the size into a compact form like this, they did away, oneleaf.ai did away with the scope rings. So, and they replaced, let's see, instead of scope rings on the NV400, on the NV500, they have this mounting rail with the scope mounts underneath the mount, and the mount screws to the bottom. Probably not that way. Well, maybe so, I'm not sure. The mount screws to the... I haven't had this on a rifle yet, as you can see. So this rail screws to the bottom of the NV500 like that, and of course you mount it on your scope. And like the NV500, or the NV400 rather, the NV500 has these universal scope mounts. Okay guys, another key difference between the two scopes, the NV400 and the NV500, is that the NV500 has interchangeable lenses, where the NV400 just has a fixed lens. So those lenses, the magnification for the NV500 lenses, from what I could see, is not labeled on any of the lenses. This is the 30, this is the 50. If I put them up, you can see the difference in size between the two. But once you install them on the scope and you look through the viewfinder, on the bottom of the screen there's a little icon that'll give you a 30x or a 50x icon. And if the lenses are not installed, there's an X over the, I'll just call it a lens icon. Hopefully I'll put that up on the screen for you. In order to take these lenses on and off, hopefully, well, we're going to take it off right now. Here's the NV500 in profile. You turn it over, or I'm doing that just for the camera, but there's a button right here. You pull that button back and you twist and you pull the lens off. Now, in order to put the lens on, you just got to find that arrow on the rim of the lens mount and find that little hand. See that little hand with the finger? Match those up, press down and twist, and it locks. Hopefully I got that on camera. Again, the button, pull, match up the finger and the arrow, press down and twist, and it locks. Now let's talk about the menu, the software for both scopes. Now this is just a preliminary video, I don't want to get into it too much, but now at first glance both scopes have the same controls and the same menu or software. I've gone through the NV500 and I had both scopes up and gone through each menu, and the menu appears to be exactly the same. Now, I received an email a while back from Lucy at OneLeaf, and she asked me what were the most used features that I use personally. So the features that I mostly use are the shot zero, the scope level. The scope level is a curved arc on the right hand side of the viewfinder that has a zero in it, and I don't know if that's, and you adjust your angle like this to get the scope level. Okay guys, let's talk about let's talk more about the lenses on the NV500. I didn't notice this when I was writing my notes down on the video. This 50mm lens has a focus ring, and that's all it has. Maybe because less light goes into the lens, but I'm not too sure on that. But the 30mm ring has a focus ring and an iris, like you have in your eye. You know, you go into bright light, your eye will close to adjust, to compensate for it, and widen when you go into the darkness. Let me see if I can show you guys. This outer ring right here is the ring for the iris. I don't know if I can get that on camera. So I have my hands on the ring for the iris. See, I'm turning that outer ring and the iris is closing. I'm turning it the other way and it opens. This is the 30mm ring. The 50mm ring does not have that. One thing I did notice when I was going through the menu, I had the scope turned on. I noticed that it was getting a little warm. The whole scope was getting a little warm, and I don't know why. I mean, it does have an internal battery. There's no, unlike the NV400, the NV500 has an internal battery. You can swap out all the batteries on the NV500. While at the same time, I had the NV400 on, and when I was checking out the internal menu, and I had never noticed it before, but this end of the scope on the NV400 was a little warm too. But I've been using this for a while now, and I have never had a problem with it, the NV400, and it's been really dependable so far. And I'm sure this will be too, the NV500. Besides their differences, both scopes, another thing they have in common, this side button right here. Well, this one has a leaf. The other one is just solid black with a green ring around it. To turn them both on, you just push this down and look through the viewfinder until you see the screen. But while both scopes are on, if you want to put the scope into a rest mode, you just give that a short press, and the view screen will go into a sleep mode, and the screen will turn black. And they have similar controls. The controls on the NV500 are pretty much exactly the same as on the NV400. You can adjust you can go from day and night vision by just pushing a button instead of going back into the menu. And you can record movies and take pictures with various buttons on here. Some of them have multiple features, but I'm still learning about them myself. But the last time I used the NV400, I was able to go through day mode, starry mode, and night mode by pushing this button right here. And that must be your video button. And this button is your picture button. Another difference between the two, the NV400, the range, besides the size, your rangefinder is here, and your infrared light mounts on the opposite side, which I kind of like that. In my opinion, it balances out the NV400 a little better. But on the NV500, your infrared light mounts on the top of this teeny tiny little rangefinder. Look at the difference in size of it in this. So, what? Look at the difference in size between the two rangefinders. Ain't that cool? How they downsized it, and both have a little. This hole up here is a laser. It's like a red laser, like you tease your animals with. I think the only function of that is for the rangefinder to measure, of course, how far you are from your target. But as far as the size of the IR lights for both scopes, they're exactly the same size. See that? They're exactly the same size. Yep, exactly the same infrared light. So I'll show you where that mounts again on the NV500. So the mount for the infrared scope on the NV500 is right there, right here on the above the rangefinder. So it mounts just like that. It looks a little weird in my opinion, but I still got to get this on a rifle and try it out. So, well, in closing, I want to say thank you to Lucy over at OneLeaf for sending this out to me. I'll be making a lot more videos on it. This was just a preliminary look comparing the differences and the similarities of both scopes. And once again, OneLeaf always packs their scopes in a really heavily foamed and padded box. You get all kinds of accessories. You get an instruction manual. I've had this one all unpacked. And you even get a lens. I think you even get a scope cover that covers the whole scope. That's pretty cool. The for the NV500, the NV400 did not come packed with that at the time I got it. And they come with a battery charger. So that's all I wanted to talk about for today. Once again, thank you to Lucy and oneleaf.ai for sending this scope out, and thanks again for sending the NV400 out. Hope you all had a happy holidays and a happy new year to all of you. The channel's currently up to 672 subscribers, so we're getting there. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye now.